Carl Jung believed the human mind was not fully individual, and the deeper he explored consciousness, the stranger reality became. Dreams repeating across civilizations, symbols appearing in people who had never encountered them before. Moments of impossible coincidence that felt designed instead of random. Jung did not believe the mind ended at the skull. He believed humanity was connected beneath consciousness itself, and once he began descending into that hidden layer, he discovered something ancient waiting there. Welcome to Mysterious Encounters. Tonight, Carl Jung, the man who entered the deep mind. In the early 20th century, Carl Jung was considered the rising heir to Sigmund Freud. Both men believed the unconscious mind shaped human behavior, but eventually, Jung began moving somewhere Freud refused to follow. Freud viewed dreams primarily as buried personal desire. Jung believed dreams were larger than the individual, much larger. He noticed ancient symbols repeatedly appearing inside patients who had never studied mythology. Serpents, oceans, shadow figures, divine mothers, wise old men, endless staircases, circles, masks. The same symbolic structures appeared across continents and centuries. This disturbed Jung deeply, because it suggested humanity might share a hidden psychological architecture beneath ordinary consciousness. Jung called this hidden layer the collective unconscious. Not memory in the traditional sense, something deeper. A symbolic ocean beneath the human mind where inherited patterns, archetypes, and ancient emotional structures continued to exist. This was revolutionary, because it implied human beings are not entirely separate psychologically. We inherit symbolic blueprints, ancient fears, ancient desires, ancient stories. Civilizations repeat myths, not because they copy one another, but because the same symbolic currents emerge naturally from the deeper mind itself. The hero, the shadow, the trickster, the great mother, the apocalypse. Humanity keeps dreaming the same dreams. Then something happened that transformed Jung permanently. Following his break from Freud, Jung experienced a psychological descent so intense he feared he was losing his mind. He began recording vivid visions, endless oceans of blood, collapsing civilizations, shadow figures, ancient gods, cosmic symbols, underground temples. Rather than suppress these visions, Jung entered them consciously. He documented them inside a strange illuminated journal now known as the Red Book. The book feels less like psychology and more like a map of consciousness descending into myth itself. Jung treated the unconscious almost like a real territory, a place populated by symbolic entities and hidden intelligence, not hallucinations, encounters. He documented them inside a strange illuminated journal now known as the Red Book. The book feels less like psychology and more like a map of consciousness descending into myth itself. Jung treated the unconscious almost like a real territory, a place populated by symbolic entities and hidden intelligence, not hallucinations, encounters. Civilizations possess shadows too. Entire societies hide violence, greed, obsession, cruelty beneath images of order and morality, and eventually, the shadow erupts. Jung warned, what is not made conscious will be experienced as fate. A civilization that refuses self-awareness eventually becomes controlled by unconscious forces it no longer understands. Then Jung encountered phenomena science still struggles to explain. Coincidences so emotionally precise they felt impossible. He called them synchronicities. Meaningful coincidences without obvious causal connection. A person dreams of a symbol, then encounters it physically hours later. Someone thinks intensely about another person, then unexpectedly receives a message from them. Jung believed these moments revealed hidden alignment between consciousness and reality itself, as though the external world occasionally mirrors internal psychological states. Reality behaving symbolically. This idea terrified many scientists because it blurred the line between mind and world, observer and reality. Jung feared modern civilization was becoming psychologically disconnected from its symbolic foundations. Technology accelerated, industry expanded, but internally, human beings became spiritually fragmented. The machine teaches people to suppress intuition, dreams, symbolism, mythic thinking, emotional depth. But Jung believed the unconscious cannot simply be erased. Ignored symbols return, distorted, suppressed archetypes emerge through mass obsession, political extremism, addiction, collective fear, celebrity worship, ideological fanaticism. A society disconnected from the deep mind becomes vulnerable to unconscious manipulation, because symbols still control people, even when they no longer understand them. By the end of his life, Jung no longer viewed consciousness as isolated. He believed humanity existed inside overlapping psychological currents connecting myth, dream, memory, symbol, emotion, reality itself. The mind was not a machine, it was an ocean. And beneath ordinary thought, something ancient continued moving through humanity, generation after generation. Perhaps this explains why certain stories never die, why symbols return endlessly, why dreams occasionally feel older than ourselves. The deeper mind remembers what civilization forgets. Perhaps Carl Jung's greatest discovery was not the unconscious itself, but the realization that modern humanity is far less psychologically independent than it believes. Beneath personality, beneath language, beneath culture, human beings may still share the same symbolic sea, and occasionally, through dreams, synchronicities, or moments of impossible recognition, the deeper ocean briefly surfaces into waking life. This has been Mysterious Encounters, and tonight, when a symbol appears repeatedly, when a coincidence feels strangely designed, when a dream refuses to leave your mind, consider the possibility that Carl Jung was not merely studying psychology. He was mapping the hidden architecture beneath consciousness itself.